you is actually how to do a flash animation wrong. And the reason I want to show you that is because even though I've tried to emphasize how important it is, some folks are not kind of paying attention, and they're going to do it wrong. So I'm going to do a flash animation wrong first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make some green grass, and then I'm going to take my brush tool, make the brush black, and we'll draw some lines here because I want a football field. Okay, then I'm going to change my paintbrush tool, and we'll do a guy here. Here's my guy. Okay, then I want him to run across the field. So I make a keyframe, and a keyframe you can do by doing the insert, timeline, keyframe option. Oh, that looks a little weird at first, but that's okay. I'm going to grab my guy. Oh, that doesn't work. The guy's on the line. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. Ugh, this is frustrating. It is frustrating because you can't make it work. Maybe I just grab the guy like this. Okay, this is the wrong way to do a flash animation. I did this on purpose, so this can get extremely frustrating. If you just have this idea in your mind and you start drawing things without following the steps I'm going to show you today, you will get extremely frustrated. I'm smart at Flash and practiced Flash for 7 or 8 years. I can't fix what I just showed you to make it work the way you want it to. I can't make that. I have to restart from scratch. So that's the wrong way to do one. Okay, I did that on purpose. Now let's do the right way. I'm on Flash ActionScript 2.0, and we're going to utilize these layers. And I'm going to make some ground here, and we'll make the ground to be green for grass. So we're going to draw the grass, and then we will draw a box again, and we'll make this one. No, we'll do a kind of brownish cliff. Okay, we have that. One sec here. Okay, I've drawn some grass. I've drawn a cliff. I'm going to use this for my scene. This is on layer 1. I'm going to call this ground cliff. Everything basically needs its own layer. Now, I can put the ground and the cliff on the same layer because those items are not going to move, so I put them on one layer. If I were going to have the cliff fall down or collapse, that would have to be on a separate layer than the ground. As your flash animations grow, you can have 30, 40, 50 layers. Okay, that's not uncommon. So I've drawn that. I'm going to draw a new layer. I'm going to call this dude. And I'm going to zoom in. There are a couple ways I can zoom in. I can zoom in by using this tool. I can zoom in on that area like that. That's kind of cool. I can also do Control plus and Control minus will zoom in. Okay, I want to zoom in at the top of this cliff. The neat thing about Flash, it's vector based. When you zoom in, the things you've drawn will not become distorted. Even though this is a really small area, when I zoom in, it looks plenty big, and I can do a good job, intricate job of drawing my guy on the cliff if I wanted to. Okay, and we're going to use keyframe animation to do that. A keyframe is where something unique happens in the animation. Okay, and keyframe animation is the animator draws every frame. So now we'll do a blue guy. So here's my guy. I draw great guys. Okay, here's my guy. Now, look what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do frame 2. I'm going to do frame 3 here. Not every frame needs to be a keyframe. That's a mistake people make when they do this. Not every frame needs to be a keyframe. Because in a few minutes, I'm going to give you an assignment. I'm going to say it has to be so many seconds long, and some people freak out because they think they have to draw in every single frame. That's not the case. Okay, not every frame needs to be a keyframe. Now, when I insert that keyframe, look what happened. My cliff looked like it went away. Now, look here on the timeline. See how the timeline it stopped there on frame 1? It didn't go out to frame 3? That's why the cliff went away. A trick is I can extend this ground cliff layer out as long as I need it. So I'm going to come out to frame, let's say 60 here. And we will insert timeline, and this can be just a frame. And now that cliff is on there. Now, another neat trick to learn is I'm not going to be drawing on that cliff any longer, and I don't want to mess that cliff up. See this button right here, the lock? I'm going to lock that. What that does, that prevents me from drawing on that layer. Trick animators will do is they will lock whatever they're working on. Whenever I'm working in Flash, I'll have everything locked except for the one layer I'm working on. So right now I'm working on the dude layer, so that's the only thing that's not locked. Now let's go back and zoom in on our dude, and let's make him move a little. So we got this, and then we'll take our brush tool, or actually we have to use our eraser because there's not a quick way to do this. And we will draw him moving. Oh, select the whole thing. So now I got this going along the animation. Let me show you another trick. I'm going to come over to this frame. F6 is a shortcut key to insert a keyframe. Over here, if you want to draw a picture to it, that's fine. This is going to onion skin the animation. What that does, that shows the previous frames. So when I do it, I can see what's happening here. Got this, and then we will move this guy. And because it's onion skin, I can kind of see the way it looked before. And then we'll take our eraser tool, and we'll just basically redraw it here. And our pencil. So we got that. Come over here. F6. Oh, what I do here? Do I not move them? F6. Move some further here. Now, if I wanted to give the illusion of animation, I have to make his arms move and his legs move. So you saw me do that. I'm going to make this go a little bit quicker. I'm just going to keep on moving him here. Now, when I get here, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to press F6. There's this neat tool here, and I know it's really small on your screenshots, the third one down, the free transform tool. I click on it, and whoa, I can flip him and move him over a little. I can do F6, flip, move, F6. Oh, that gets kind of frustrating. That's called the registration point. What just moved there? I'm going to do F6. Okay, so we got this guy going down. Here's our cartoon so far. Ah, oh no. Oh no. Okay. But you know what? I'm not a mean guy. I've seen enough stick figure death in my day. I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna have a giant bird here. A bird. Now, again, watch as I do this. I don't want the bird to appear in frame 1. I want the bird to kind of come in halfway through the movie to save the day. So I'm going to go out to frame 15 here and create a keyframe. See what happened? There is no frame on 1. It's empty. See the difference between this frame and this frame? This is a keyframe with something drawn in it. This is called a blank keyframe, which means basically there's nothing in it. Come over here, and now I'm going to draw. I'm going to lock this layer. So the only place I can draw it is on the bird layer. And we'll make it a red bird. I draw great birds. Here's my bird. Thank you. I press F6, then we'll have our bird kind of move. Press F6, have the bird move. F6. F6. It's gonna save it just fine. Ah, okay. Now the bird is sitting kind of on the dude. Now I'm gonna press F6. How come I don't see my dude any longer? Well, exactly. See this layer? It's sitting by there. I'm gonna move the bird back up. And then if I press F6, I'm going to go move my dude. I can't do it. The reason I can't do it is he's locked. So I unlock the dude layer, grab him, move him up. The bird can then save him. Ah, cool. So if you want to see this movie from the start, if we go, Control, play, test movie. Let's test the whole movie. Now this is new. Ta-da. Hey, Walt Disney, look out. Here I come. Now, a few things on your note sheet. Let me make sure I answer the questions. Keyframe animation is where the animator draws all the individual frames. What a keyframe is where something unique happens in the animation. Okay? Keyframe animations, the animator draws every frame, and a keyframe is where something unique happens. The way you insert a keyframe, I gave you a big box there, the F6 key. F6 will insert a keyframe. You have to make sure you select the frame in the timeline. So choose the timeline, the frame you want, press F6. Then a layer is where a unique action would be, a unique character would be. I should say not action. A layer is where a unique character would be. And you insert layers on the timeline. I lock and make my layers invisible using the lock key and the invisible key. I'm going to show you the invisible key. Sometimes the invisible key will help you figure out what you're working on. Okay, if I know I only want to work on the bird layer, maybe I'll make everything invisible and make that the only visible thing. That can be beneficial a lot of times. The free transform tool here is in the top left-hand corner. It allows me to manipulate a character, and I can change the angle of it, the size, and different things. Okay. Zoom in and out, I can use the magnifying glass, or I can also press the control key plus with the plus, or the control key and the minus. Control plus and minus, same as Photoshop. Onion skinning is in the timeline, and it shows the previous frames. And if it's easier just to point to it, that's fine. Okay. Onion skinning shows the previous frames. I want you to hold on to this. Oh, question? What is a keyframe? It's where unique action occurs. Okay. No, not every frame needs to be a keyframe. Okay. Now, the last three questions I'm not going to answer today. I want you to hold on to this note sheet because I want you to, as you draw your cartoon today, as you start working on your cartoon, look how I utilize multiple layers in mine. Remember the first one I did where I drew everything on one layer, it crashed and burned. It would not work. If you draw it like this, it will work. Okay? Now, hold up, hold up.